member of parliament here why ya was so West Wogon. John Dumelo now in Kano. That area and the chaos says someone else I'm ketwa. Wo fa wo dia wo na main road no so ahun hu Usani Christian village popular to who kiosk no papa. Stores any idea filling station na be hunu ne idea. Name ne tokuro mu ho fa na chi Christian village wo fro be no na wo fa na right now after the you can say bridge na nka nsuo to a etumi ebu kam so omo ye wie kura nsuo to a fa ho nyina. Efa ho nyina ai na ewura me store say ya enti wo kosoro kakra na manefa right tokuro bi wo fa wa kioso jai nyeze aso wadu kuro foforo so asa nye kurom na wo nye small so am samu ani na yesi kwawensani bi wo ba kwawensani ene wa bura yesi sram no wakoso candle e de yesi ne ba ho ben cylinder. Can you imagine wa process sraw abusu ama memo amane ba ko na afa ye ntinsim ye ni ye nkomo wotre ma ko bompurugu na Mpanduri district one mo a yeso am de atemo wase o kale wa de atemo na santo kwese am de atem ye nya asam ketwa na tan am de atem no yesi ama chese oja ama ja chese minim how they even temu ma ebe na sa houses no area no bompurugu na Mpanduri district dong la gbeguruku ayasemo mo banje mate ai wa mo se adan ahyehyɛ ne ade ha adwene nti ehwe sense troni etu anama akɔhɔ koduru hɔ aye ne bedi nkɔmɔ yeso wa mo de atemu hɔ anya asem ketwa ebusu in studios ya wa yera mark ewusi akon convener elections watch Ghana Dr. Sami Aye enche obeba bekan sa national communication team member o mienu ne ene omo eba bedi nkobo na de wadi kan aba e de yera mark ewusi akon mark ma chana pay meje sumunia empom to say ade adom no mpa bonti ye da nyame ase pejami ye ba aba afi de meton ka ye pa na bako de after elections asa ye share biom
no kure em say after elections the last time I share da me ba ha na me ba Janet ne
ai wonu ya
nso wie na asem kura no me ana maka
aya
no share na empa bone adum ana egusua eden ya tisa appointment ni ade
eno na ka be side edikan say how do you see the appointment current CEOs ni ade wo mo aya fefe for mo akokoko aba institutions ma any ade no
well I think His Excellency the President Dinejuma said the abortion esi etie na yenyina nim say he is the president of the nation onu sun kwan tumi nya adwuma ni nyina
baby
and so obehia aboafo mbabo no na ye adwuma no. But I have said, sir, appointment now all man should be based on merit. It shouldn't be, sir, as I say, Nipana president man appointment in tea. Now, Sabe, you're tebrim near the man. We need to get people who will be appointed based on merit, or more experience, or more past record. A bit to me, actually, say, you might be a mom, or meet me a year, there are areas, sir. You bet me a party for near the share months. Why we can do that because I'm dealing directly, especially in the youth front, with the youth. But baby, it's a GRA. Me interest
Ghana Revenue
Authority. Nana, you mean Ghana Revenue Authority?
Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yes, that's Anthony Sapon.
Full soldiers are quite
you see, so we need people who have the competency to manage and handle such institution. Let me tell you, sir, GRA and NDC property. Your mind Ghana property. At the end of the day, say PNC need to tax, na CPP need to tax. San NDC name people so it means that so we need obia what kwadire sa adwumadi enu no tumi baba ye adwuma na boy. Enu ntina am penin di adwuma na ma around Tony Sapon. Look, he's an excellent man. I've said this on several platforms. Or you're more KPM. In recent times, and I'm say you're the court because there's some conflict of interest, which I agreed.
Yeah.
Sir, see a more appointment. I think the best thing you need to do is to resign from where you are. But under normal circumstances, Nana, appointment here the map pay. party for ni be press yensan jim free nsem enti wo abeka kwa resign if baby awo no you cannot do that until see
only the faith
you can't throw your life on the dice like that.
A party for so am na aye adwuma power na banti wo post bi wo ho mo fama wo.
In fact nana enu nko de me nyom nyichim bia me no mo ya adwen nanso ye wo omo a anyim adwuma num yie a wo se adi adwuma na eden emo omo no mo ye. And I think that this for that reason ana mampanyin adi adwuma no ma owura Anthony Sapon look on to me tam giari an konkomo bia on trust no. The backbone of Ghana's development and economy. Ghana
Revenue Authority.
Exactly. And it's when you be on Nima now the Kokomo Bia Kakaso a party full soldier and Yavan Komana. And I want to believe, say, President Mahama Pessoa set a record and son with Rebellion. And to unfair money more Bia Kakaso and Conquer. And it's not the more run to Sapon. Look, so I shall run to Sapon track records, and your Juma was Ghana, Nigeria. South Africa and they are standing about Ghana being as a country manager. You realize that he's a very good man and indeed. Or there are a lot of reforms and about KPMG. Recent SML report about Bonti and here come once. I'm gonna run as a audit no. Yeah. And no could demo biano. Said I'm the Baba to Bonti. I mean any hunty I say. Man penny that I don't know I say it borders on national security in Tian Fan Mabonti. But they enforce our cyber. It is a document that has to be given out to the people of Ghana. And this man contributed a lot. And he say, I can't say on your party, look, it is not all the appointment that will go to party people. Does it mean say me appointment in your party? I mean, it is very bad. We are building a nation for all of us. You hear good governance. And your party for sebi Yanka so mabon omunimade. And it is for that reason. It's in a majority of the appointments. I'm penning Mahama Ayen, a free NDC for Akachi. Share a shippers authority. And I'm a Professor Jampu. Yeah. Were
you surprised?
Yeah. Oh, I was never surprised.
Do you have surprises among the Omoya formula?
Oh, you see, Netianese, and yes, sir, obey party in Kwana Beckett as a government. But sir, if you sit on the fence, that's all you're not near maybe in Korea. You criticize constructive. It's all criticize constructively. Me support here. And that is what I think President Mahama wants to do. Like I said, he's going to involve a lot of people, including political parties, including individuals and civil society organizations to help us do the job. So I mean, say Yama to say Nana Ajantu Professor Jampu, they deserve it. I mean, they deserve it. Also, contribution to national development and institutional building of our nation. I mean, they deserve it. And yes, they deserve it, sir. Yamfa mo munyin konkodio. Nemum memaka osiakon I believe sir they can contribute positively to our nation's growth. Enti mesre mama adwebra embra. So far so good with the appointment of President Mahama. On my promise in 120 days he's going to sign a social contract with the Ghanaian people. Yeah. Obe review nyeme bebre which includes the Educational Review Committee, looking at then energy crisis and as we speak, Enra, Wasati Committee. Yeah. Now, Orajanapo, Asia, the CSOs, and then industry players within the energy sector have some level of agreement. Constitutional Review Committee was setting up just at Economic Committee. So I think so far would say so good. I want to believe, sir. He's yet to set a record for us.
But were you surprised when you heard say Education Minister no the Ababonte say as they wanted to do earlier, taking away allowances and replacing it with loans near the end? He came out though.
Sister,
would it be surprising?
I am not surprised. I am not surprised. We don't live in a static world. We don't live in a static world. No. Sabe, the world evolves. And he said, who just sabi? Na sabi and fan faso biya ma. Ya reverse it, and I yemun sakraye. This is not to say paying teachers allowance and fan faso emma. But young man compound here chi. A debe and a necessity if anything bro for gramba. And a ma ye chia allowance. Allowance. It was because people were not interested into going into that field. So said the banner yababwa na yetumi akushin school for ma omania teacher training hono now see introduce the teacher training allowance na feed just as a feed SHS for so there were some incentives na ebo on as we speak yewo teachers bebre wo ha posting kura yenya bi mo teacher bebre on my post to tifie obi atena fie 4 years 5 years obi kura de wa pa ba ma wa change ne dream of becoming a teacher obi wa naturally no person ba kira ade but the dream assessor and many of them have been rendered
thank
you and so the reason for which you introduce teacher trainee allowances was say they be encouraging for 95.1 as we speak. Is the situation yesteryears the same as today? The answer is no. Do we have any loan structure or policy or agreement be a students at the tertiary level? Answer yes. And you be an appeal, maybe because Kumanji loan. But you students loan. You bet me at their bois students are almost sabe echo and him. Now I'm wanting to me I harm no mercy there. Now I'm on mine and your son for so. Sister, teacher training for they have access to loans. Oh, we school now, baby now could I 2 years. Obi onyan set up pa no dey na work. Ade ba kun so wo hu ne say apart from say ebinom be wie school no mu nya adwuma nya no. Onua FM. Chunk and majority of them enya postings. I read engineering. Engineering is any student loan. Bebre no so wi a o mu nya adwuma nya. Does it mean say prioritize ebinom over others ana? Aren't you encouraging more people to leave other professions and go into the teacher training because?
So in your view, you think, sir, if they decide to cancel the alawana, I mean...
It is not a problem. It is not a problem because the reason for which that alawano was instituted does not really make sense today. Is it that we are just giving out the money to people to go and squander? I mean, it is no. So if Yabeka said, Nyentia I did teacher training allowance no buy no this time near master enti yan na yan making sure say the student loan na the mom no be enhance no na yetumi etua omu loans no on time the intent for which the money is given will be used for that purpose will be ntina baby and delay loans no because ono the yen investment near the mom on time no dey ye dey here dia. I mean, we should give it to them. One other thing so asanka and say, your mind be more. You to me my loans, Maslock formal loans, NEP formal loans.
Yeah.
Your my teachers allowance and here there. At the end of the day, all those monies need to be recouped. Or say to me, yes, I can back. Unfortunately, we are not getting it because the teacher for your mom loans we no much idea. You say to me, teacher,
yeah.
Near one thing I got no kokoshabu to call your we don't have a proper data management system. So what I say? So I believe, sir, just as Omoye, you bet me more money. This time, say, as soon as fast let us channel those monies into other, profitable ventures.
What's your view over the committees? His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Diaba. Ebi kase obaye there no any committees. What was your expectation from the economic side? From education, from the petroleum side, and then the constitutional review?
I think it's one, without forming such committees, it will be very difficult to beat me a year. Or the various challenges are near war in your system. And day in, day out. Now you're forming committees. In Rebecca, I say, answer say, and this is Baba Benjamin. Now we have challenges in the energy sector. Our mobile, and I say, so the 95.1 me set up that committee and mostly formation of those committees is to identify challenges, find solutions, do proper monitoring and ensure say to me said it's mandate. So for me, I don't have any problem with the formation of the committees, but my expectations say the committee should commit themselves to their mandate and ensure so to deliver to the satisfaction of the president. Now, emphasis because they are not there just for being their sake, you know. They are not there to drink tea and eat biscuits, but they are there to work. And I am happy what I have seen so far. So here, and now, in fact, a lot of things came up where the Omokan was money, Yame said they will ensure, say, pricing of petroleum products.
Onua FM 95.1.
Just to cushion the Ghanaian people. So what you are saying. I've also heard in the same energy sector under the National Petroleum Authority, there will be a UPPF. And no, the price, one of the prices that you taxes be a year, saying the crude product, diesel, petrol, near the air con offer. Use idea if you're not for I'm a transport so they introduced that particular fund just so that menu me no one can ha and will be able to me atia na cushion on more no musi ni nyina atia unfortunately Nkrofo the letter a call right to information commission demanded from 2019 to 2023 to 2024 payment to do omo aye akọ fund nimu because it's alleged say manfo bi akoso kanu bi atto to dan ni ade wa America ne ho ne manema I believe say we should probe it na no kwaridie bi ewo mu no yemfa mra even say yentete say UPPF no so kura na sika no ebetimi di ewura free SHS mu a I think say ebeboa. I also heard the minister talking about committee, you know, finding a possible funding solution to the free SHS. I am fully in support of it. I am fully in support of it. That we cannot get things on a silver platter. We are now a developing nation. I had an opportunity, Michelle Minister of Education, Pastor Aneduchum. Now, young Komodie no. Actually, me say, so here the current free SHS program now, you're rolling out now, yeah. Namum, Bilibiti say, feeding. I've written years back on my Facebook wall, say, parents should be able to share costs. But let's share the cost. Sakuran will feed and I'll feed now. Meaning to be feeding with 5 Ghana cedis. It will go beyond that. So, a bank sick you spend 20 Ghana cedis on the kids.
Now the beer so. So, and that's how they attend now by young Kosh Abanya Wabe, Yabesre, Minister of Education, you empower the PTA, the Parent Teachers Association. We are finding possible solutions to funding free SHS. We can look at taxing the extractive mineral sector. We can look at introducing some tax components. Nuisance taxes in fuel. See the free SHS levy eba. Nanaya, I am telling you that people will pay. People are going to pay because yenimum faswa e de beba. Look, let us begin identifying value for money. Tiana de enye hi o na emom.
Omo be yesi
kan ni area sesika no e be kwa baby e se ko holy asem because national health yetua so e be wi ase na tese national health na ye bibia ho.
Ye be follow. No me omo de ayadwuma ye.
Mo hwehwe da fia me pop mame. Why na hwa boss no ho hia se ye hu no se ye mia ya na ye mia. Kwa me hwehwe da fia me pop because nkrofo e interested na pe na obi bisa me. Se ehwa no ehuno ya na eye kese pae enyanyembia ya ne ya ekọ na akosi say me so doctor wa hanje obekire mu se emia ohwo a then possible yes one dem to ya what yes Mark you are in the spirit God dem to sabi Martin bogo there
meje so na
na say woni ma ebosan say emia ohwo na
oh debi many mtimenye bosan sa
ya woni ma say as what kind of the be
ano pay the ntia kese pa be kwa ma wo wankasa any minia mark any Ghana for omutie nyina His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama and the Vice President Professor Nana Jenopoko Ajima any aje say na oka committee ho asem no ka say ye papa ne 120 day social contractor on Ghana for assign ye na made up of 26 interventions na papa say in the first 4 months no be no me no ka say why 7 out of 26 oye calculation na 27%. Oye that or achieve that in the first 26 days in office, which is splendid, very spectacular and remarkable for a leader.
Onua FM
Waba power
95.1
in only less than a month. Osheniema wetimi achieve. In fact, how I was nominating the ministers. This is a man who means business. Na
a minister so crowd they say do get here because say I don't list or that.
oh there be nentesa. Also Onua kasa chairman na during the manifesto reading be catch na say
Be any
no, during the launch of Professor inauguration of Professor Nana Jenopoka Jman as running mate, National Chairman na be na no ka say let's work for power first. Yeah. Na ma for more preposition no, they should forget about it because without power you cannot have positions. Inti yeda obi biase na ye papa so go so awoye adwuma.
right.
The inti agana for to man no, he respects that, he acknowledges that, and is going to do everything possible to deliver on
your
the
expectation. That was what I was asking Mark about the committees now so far. On my inaugurating.
Yes, what we say, government cannot work in a vacuum. And if it is a obey reforms, you need to set up the necessary vehicles to make sure say they will work. National Education Forum, no. It is extremely important. It's the same as the National Economic Dialogue,
Right.
because NDC will GDA say Banuswa emia and Tikroso and Kwejina Nipa mienu miensa shia na ye church dream. Na we come to a conclusion with a very well, crafted a roadmap. Everybody na said at the end of the day, no say ye achieve success. All of us can share in the successes that we have chalked. And all of us will come to the drawing table and make sure certain things are right. So committees is a step in the right direction. They are all in the 120-day social contract. I papa His Excellency did too.
Yeah.
And na enye babe yebi senchi yebi. What was the result? At the end of the day, we came out with a solution. Emma Ghana economy, no IMF even projected say by 2017, whether or not John Mama is there, no Onua, Ghana's economy will grow at 8%. And when MPP came, even before their budgets kicked in, now your growth rate was almost about 8%. So it is important. Say in Nabe Church, NDC, ye want to say ye nyansabo akwa. We are assuming nyansa na we trim. Ye de ye GD say Ghana nyame de ne pa bi adua ne pa bi mu. Professors, lecturers, lawyers, teachers, any doctors, any other people, journalists, obia. Ono so nyame de bi pa bi adua ne mu a obetimi de abo aban. We are expecting say ye be shia na ye di oman ho komo. I'm saying nkomo da apono so ye parliament.
I am so we're looking at appointment committee,
yes,
vetting the happenings on Thursday and the lifting of the suspension, any idea approval and non-approval by minority, some what can I say designates. We know of two. Any idea? Yeah, me start if you mark now.
Okay, very
yeah, I think it is very essential and important. You have power and for about the various ministries and name.
Right.
We can't also just say your power means or say take you through some form of vetting.
Onua FM 95.1,
including any maybe on my year in the past near it is also an opportunity for us to test their brains and their minds and on capacity. What I say to me, I hear human and I say into me and yet. Unfortunately, a name about community ACC in a very hard words or terms, I will condemn it. So it should never happen in our lives as Ghanaians. So Onua yede nidie ene obu amo say omama representing in parliament would find themselves in this act. So Bekaya, I think in 2017, same thing happened when Ura Carlos Ahinkra kofa because ballot papers now.
Onua FM 95.1.
it doesn't demonstrate honorability. It doesn't show respect to your constituents. Unfortunately, during the vetting of some of our ministers, similar thing happened. Of course, so here we are for markings.
Yeah.
The questions I will be sending you now is like asking one question but beating around the bush. Sana question ever. No people say, are those questions that relevant to give us the needed development we need? Utichi. I mean, it is not part of it.
But Haruna, at the end, I thought he was just being
fine
strategic for people to know, Ghanaians to know Haruna can actually speak tree. Because a lot Haruna on your tree interviews. On your tree, and he assumed, and he has an ambition to become flag bearer of the NDC. Yeah. And if you want to be speaking English alone, and he probably wanted to portray another side of Haruna people didn't know.
Nana, when him said it for that reason, in a People's National Convention, you're voting go anymore. Strategically, you're going to say, yeah. So some of us are come for a woman no and send me one of my you drew here, the back so some of these things I know Bisano. Yes, it is for the antics, it's for the gimmicks, side of it and all that. But there are some of the questions I know besides. Right. Which means say we are at a point where the Ghanaian people have given total power. They've given their sovereignty to the NDC. And we expect the NPP as a micro minority would hold the NDC to the wall and probe them appropriately, criticize them constructively, just as any other Ghanaian. But when it happens, no bisa about 97 questions, 110 questions. What's Nasa all the questions in Natun Sena Humor, 77 period, near woman powers and go Busano, and Newton. And Newton. I mean, you waste the time of almost everybody. And you'll be on a bit when you're Quenya, I call say, or Quaco supporting betting. Tamani Vete, the defense minister. Yeah. Omanebwam. I was there. Unfortunately, we couldn't access the place because Nanipana I choked. And it was so because Pablo, I call Honoman. So they need to put down certain restrictions and all that. I respect it. But you will be no more so then I have 8 years more. So when you ask certain questions, excuse my words, doesn't look too relevant. I mean, reduce the credibility of even the committee. I'll say they are political animals, and that take it or leave it. It's an appointment. That is not what Ghanaians are looking out for. Politically, you also have to straighten certain things at that time. What are the things? That is what brought that Fifi Quate's interview. I'll call you a vet. No money so campaign time. Na me can't say and so you could see they were trying to find ways to get the same thing from them. But you see, and America said, so you can do it, but in a different way. You can do it by considering the time limit. Let us manage time. When you say Sanyamano and a ma chaos na see because they felt say the relevant questions are your pen. 95.1. Another point, Ghanaians also felt say the MPP, Afenyo Markins, was trying to bully the chairman of the committee. But chairman also, you can't bully him. He's slow by nature, but very firm and articulate. So, and I'm soon a man for boss. I used to but about one thing and so the baby. About one thing, I see him so the baby. There don't know who go be. No, who came in a night day. Oh, come in by him so the baby. And I made stress a dead man before Yama who could minute. Yes, it was me and was so proud. Is it I think, sir, you have questions now. Yeah. Let's ask questions that would bring the emphasis. But do you think the suspension was relevant? In fact, I am even disappointed. 95.1. Speaker, I rescinded the decision on the suspension. This I oh man, baby, I do know. You just a bonnet. And as a bonnet, I can. And maybe no news here. And maybe no year na yesuano. And Korano Susan in a different way. The different way I maybe no Asian said. say parliament parliamentarians etimi fa essa ballot papers we na parliamentarians etimi ko vetting etutu nkonya peja tables then students in Salaga would also fight, students at Kimbu would also fight, and students across the nation will be fighting because there is no discipline. Yeah, discipline jira ewo man mu. Discipline jira ewo man mu. Sebe nyam fra no nko a na nyam bamburu no nko a yam penimfo ya to abayi omo.
Yes, nyam penim money.
95.1.
I'm penny. Yeah, to a bad you. Near from honorable. I think that's our honorable title. I say started ever draw. Because since me from honorable, now we conquer snap vetting committee. So now swat table. Was that why we voted for you? Was that the reason you were sent there? So I think now send a speaker. A general now. Now I punish you for that 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean, investigation is still ongoing. Na asam na no kura bia wo ho no obi a oye nyema bia anko yie no. Look, they have this grace parliament and omo breaking the standard rules of parliament. Now so to be a one say at the moment. And I heard other people like Honorable Joe saying say the speaker doesn't have that power.
Well, the constitution does not allow him to. In fact, when he was also lieutenant, he said it's supposed to be a committee, but there's no committee at the moment.
Yes.
So
he has to exercise that discretion as the speaker of parliament. Mr. Joe say he's not a member of parliament. He's not a member of parliament, but they voted for him to become the speaker.
Yeah.
Don't forget, some more to abandon money based speaker. We are more man power, no?
Yeah.
To rule, to supersede the actions and inactions of parliament. Papa ni penny, Aunt Nase, Anya high, Emma sabi. Mum fa parliament and form. And it is for that reason and no take his action, no. Say action no taking it and I expect a senka members of parliament, no sorry, both minority and majority leader.
Yeah.
Because some come condemn speaker, but they didn't condemn, but they rather apologized. So I think Sir Joe White should rather apologize to the speaker for saying certain things that he wasn't supposed to say. We need to bring sanity to the House of Parliament. We need to bring sanity to the floor of Parliament. And this is our work children share. Omusian niema. Ni anhwe am kesa pantoa. Enchirema baba be ye ne ense ene ne emfata. I highly condemn it, and I think say now some speaker train na 2 weeks no so and sana while left that ban no. All said and then I think they've apologized. Omonya enuhu. It shouldn't just be by words of apology, but let that reflect in omujumedia omudie omabrabom omokasa omoneye yenhunu sa enuhu no ewo ho. Esan say dodo na wa bontin esua. Currently as we speak, o de kwa bontin akwa survey say how do the Ghanaian people see the parliament that we have? I'm telling you say yenya 50%. Already there is a perception say parliamentarians are corrupt. Even if there is that perception, mama ye nyama ye no emfa nidie kakra
95.1.
Today member of parliament enam krom kra na opentamako office na okuta obo siren na obi hu so member of parliament omo man kwan because omo ka say gom hu ni ma say I don't think say we can prepare ourselves into that ditch. Right. Let's protect our democracy and ensure say would ensure putting together a good governance system and a structure.
Medase Mamenko Dr. Ayeho. Doctor, your opinion about the vetting, suspension, lifting of suspension and all that.
Medase. I say the AC or parliament and the members of parliament are.
Yeah.
Na just say in Tokwane Basabasa yesia and Tiase Nyejumano. Regrettable. Enya dia ewo se we Ghana ni na o buoni ni die magana na o do magana na o dwen Ghana ho a ewo se osososo. That is why I am extremely disappointed in those who have said the speaker doesn't have the power. This is a man that standing orders amano authority say he should maintain orderliness in parliament. He should protect the integrity of parliament. In fact, he stated specific orders of parliament are established that beyond doubt. You cannot give somebody a speaker or lack inherent disciplinary authority or disciplinary duties. Penyin tena fie man saduanya de enfo. Ena penyin a otena fie man kwadare nanka no. Yebu nanka for eden. Oka ho bi. It must not be tolerated. It must not be encouraged anywhere. That conversation must cease. Say, Speaker does not have the authority because Parliament. Entika why nanka it is our disciplinary authorities. But you see, the MPP side in Parliament is becoming very chaotic and rowdy. Nanaya.
Yeah.
The leader of MPP, and I must say this, if MPP doesn't take care, they will lose their relevance in Ghanaian politics because of the leader of my point.
Why do you say so?
From December 7, he has been on an apology spree. He's basically apologizing to everyone because he lacks the emotional intelligence. He lacks tact. The timing extremely poor.
He took the offer.
No, hold on.
Blame no because he says he's the leader.
Debbie.
And whatever happened
So,
then wajiatu.
Oye leader.
And he was
Oye leader, you must be strategic. Oye leader, or timing should be good. Oye leader, you should exercise restraint. Right? Number one. He leveled allegations against Honorable Kujeta Blakwa.
That
About, say, a smuggle in. And Kujeta Blakwa brought further and better particulars. Didn't Afenyo apologize to Kujeta Blakwa?
he did.
That is apology number one. Apology number two, the clerk of parliament. Afenyo held invectives and attacks on the woman.
But he had his reasons. He gave the
yes, you everybody
so
can.
during the
Okay,
I'm moderating. And they are not here, so you need to
no problem.
You
no problem.
not defend,
No
but
problem.
you need to say their side.
No problem.
He Afenyo says that as a majority leader,
95.1.
no, as a majority leader then, that same clerk insisted that the minority should be heard. And if there's anything like a committee report or something, even if the minority won't sign, they are supposed to see before. And you do baby cry no now more far judges any or more years away veterinary they went through the process. No. He wanted the lady to get the thing into the chamber. My minister tells say minority for bedi atum so mahunu no ompene. Emma no nim ato force ntintintia on that matter. Ma to ka say party side empene. Enti one fee any ade and other issues. Enti no one said the same woman at this time when Onua Babaye minority no, you are rather not
giving them
the same, and you are rather even the chairman no cry no now wow, because the numbers and names now they buy out the letters they call you. The chairman himself wasn't even aware, and they were supposed to vet just 3. Based on that, and he has reported, and nothing has been done. Until then, he had to come out that way.
I don't think Afenyo has been truthful enough because it is speaker. Speaker say okay almost standing orders order 2663. A clerk to a committee or a clerk doesn't convene any meeting. It is the duty of the chairman to do that. So vetting 2 additional people did not come from the clerk. What's the making I say? So how would you attack Obi, especially when it is a woman? Oye mame, openly. Oye civil servant, she cannot respond. But how do you do this in open to impugn the integrity of the woman? Wame Pacho after that. Yes, apology number 2.
Yeah.
Enra. Ose committee didn't approve some judge way on majority. Meanwhile, the report shows say you agreed to approve them on consensus. And so honesty has been lost in this manner. So I have no doubt. Say he is only seeking attention and being very rowdy in parliament. It is early days yet. We know the difficulties. Molusuaba, you have not settled yet. But you must exercise leadership. you must exercise patience.
Onua FM 95.1.
You must be tactful to bring the integrity of the MPP back again. Let's say the Prof. Jampo tu omofono. Go back to the drawing board and assess yourself. Namu strength and weaknesses, and come back again. There's nothing wrong with that. But I say, animanimu ya no. Gidi. How do you? I mean, even if you disagree with chairman saying to have it, you can go into a conclave. My committee, I say, oh, chairman, you say, looking at your numbers, no, a consensus building a babu, Muswa, mobile parliamentu, mama parliamentu, Muswa.
Yeah, but Ghana would also not forgive NDC said because what also I did to me amount the OPBI.
But that was not the.
You need the minority to also check some of the things.
Nanaya,
no matter what.
Nanaya, that was
that
not
is
even
how
the case.
Democracy is built.
In fact, the NDC has been so tolerant that for the first time, you a chairman of a committee or our non-members of the appointment committee to come and sit down and ask questions. And Kayempesa, would we do that? We are willing and ready to work with them. It is Omorana say no by any et said the amount for Kanomontina fee. Na yempe tablet be momo. Na omon joining from fear. Na say amount for big crash just say Land Cruisers ya ye de momo kaloni. Omo de me momo bi. Ba mi campaign bases no. 2 or 3 or ye fa momo no mu use we no. What they make can say. So they shouldn't do that. We are not to unnecessary questions. Sam George.
But he who proves that somebody is a thief, a looter, must prove there and then that indeed these people are looters, and you also have to come clean.
But
as the chairman of a committee, you cannot just say I can't find my tenancy agreement and my landlord has traveled.
But
if indeed he said that, it doesn't make sense.
How?
Why dying for 8 years? Tenancy agreement saying.
I say be at that point to a farmer.
There be no can say when you have fetch it.
Yes.
But afterwards, no more can say one of the issues one farmer is that he says he can't find his agreement. His landlord has traveled.
There is no problem with that. And no dear. You bet me exactly. Now you're probing. But that should not be a reason why you deny a minister his approval. Look at Sam George, or communications ministry. And Ghana data boying.
That's true.
Nanaya.
I mean, the two of them know their job.
Yes,
you can't take them away from them. To be honest with you, Sam George in communication or Kujeto on foreign affairs.
Yes,
but the issues they answered on that particular sector.
Nanaya,
but the other things also matter. We need to prove.
Mene otie obeye kwa enko. Say obi NTO conversation, data protection, obi ko communication minister. Those are the questions you should ask. By Alfredo Markin, questions will be anti-LGBT bill. His attacks on the Chief Justice. His attacks on the Kufuor and Bawumia government. Galamsey issues. How does these matters relate with the communications ministry? And you spend 3 hours to ask 196 questions. Why? Ukwa America vetia. Aya ufulu.
Osimo ye the same.
Entisa.
Most MPP buy almost
there be Nanaya
the vetting process and
Abamba be when bisa 196 questions
Abamba be vetting process can a former finance minister who in 3 days
Nanaya
was say a baku yi so cry
Nanaya eyadia wahu
nti mo bobene
eyadia ubisa relevant questions cry dia obi enu ni asem. But the questions, look at communication minister, 70% of questions are ebisa not related to the ministry of
Hey, now what to kwaya kwabrotia ko school?
Oh, massa.
Now the dollars net your school fees ebisa say then the tria am from so ben.
Must you spend 30 minutes in asking that question?
And then nipa no nya no no kwamane. Ye bisa no kwamane say me na hwamia. Me na hwamia. Say u baby say we na adwuma ben wo ye.
Nana, do you think that Afenyo Market genuine interest is to unravel that? It is to settle personal scores and political scores. That is it. You don't spend 3 hours to ascertain this. And if you look at the interview, the nominees have been very straightforward. They don't beat about the bush. Very straightforward. We be a question, no answer. And so we must be fair to the people of Ghana. We must not encourage a situation where OBI and Onwa or no look at a whole greater Accra minister. Accra, Nanaya. Look at the problems in Accra. Sanitation issues, rent issues.
There are a lot of people who are doing the betting.
So when you waste Obia time, maybe do some time cannot my break. Question says some bisa no muti. That is the problem, and we must be honest with it. He wants to prove a point to MPP fine or a leader or mighty minority. Or from mighty minority, but from micro, or from micro, or from micro minority. But from mighty minority now, constitution mighty minority be
Onua FM 95.1.
Now out here, so we must be very fair. Now, me nominees, I wish them well. It has been difficult. Appointments, campaign appointments, difficulties, and all that. They should remember that their loyalty is to Ghana. Let us put him, as the President Mahamakano, let us put in place the right measures, right policies, right interventions. Edi ebe Ghana, and the Ghana enye de. I'm for a dean because you're too abanche. Very soon, Ghana for Bekasa.
3 months.
3 months per Ghana for Bekasa, and I believe Oba presidency amewoya. His Excellency the President, Oba Unia Dajio, or the name egu akwem. And to more and representatives in the various ministries, most of for Donny Obu Magana, etc. the Wakano, he will not countenance any form of disrespect. Na Monfa Shisha Pengu Akwemu. Na ye easy and Kakra as Ghanaians. Said yes, so once the impona word Yanidia, a ye, a Diane Bo, Emrafom. A great sector, Omoyrom, ya papa Yokopoku, me GD pa onimu, or the Niama, and a shepherd Guaquemo. Ama Niama boa bafom, ama man for Yedi. Obi did no me, on found as a Wuchu Lankusa. Na wundumja. Na wusi die and father home. Okoto die or down suman, estates and fan home. But so you know the dear. No tona. Assembly anyhow. That is where we should be looking at. I wish them well. Na ye share say ye papa de ne pa be go begu akom no so aboa na bebe atimi akotote.
Ebusi amenka o say first match ye pese kokoya doye Onua FM ne Onua TV kan bomu a na boafo ye na outreach ne de bre onim sa afi bia no yenya si bosume ya eye Ghana month na yetena se neja yetumi aya doye afi ye san ko ebinti yesre moda se dia mo ye ne last year in fact mo man mroso man in China because challenge ne ma dey tough go yi on dem check enti na wabomodia abeka ye ho se ye mo sitre milk ne tissues ne toilet rolls ne ade fa ebra ne for bo odo mo dom ye pese feed 500 orphans ye pese feed 500 orphans on the 1st of March inti beka ye ho se untumi fa ne ma ne ma obetimi afre wo 05988704460 05988704460 mame kwa homa so na me ne ye Western Region wo mo NDC chairman ebeto odwa se eye Western Region emabunu no bia ties mo office a wo mu egu wo mu kan mu si abonten adan a wo mu si an municipal chief executive wo ma fa no wo mo mpe nana toku ana pe mache nana good morning me ba jo mpom te say
amiado
edanya me ase yenya nte se emabunu no bi etisi party office wo mo se penimu omu yi no se titrani ana se MC obeda Western Region no as wo monte wo ho ase. I don't know. I think this has come to your attention. What's going on? Then is it?
Yo mama, me da se me chia we fia for ni wetie kwa na pe. And for the to me be saying so say short list no I'm apply for MMDCs.
Right.
Ya me adum ya koso aye adwuma na bi. I say compare report in the concrete. Young compare you can news in the Pia Bonting, Ebu Bodin, Biblia or Brana, Yampin for a age, my client transition. We and so your far less than Quan Tuja. Yes, be my MPC or Munfimna, or form comment. The wins are the Pia Bonting, I Casa Bibri. And notice and na concrete, and I saw call Takra the party officer. Omuntia zomo parliamentary candidate no olusu ye no ne din enka ho na me buy ntia na pay na ma from ina wa ha no mu ina ka some ma tia se baby
in fact omo lock mo party office kora ukrofo go mo come
say consultancy party office no lock
right.
Any regional party office
right
and she no omo ebie na pay so my leadership no wa ha man say me see ka no nyame adom
Onua 95.1
now chairman candidate applying to become a MCE Western
or apply we
lawyer Fedu
yes
okay omo am shortlisting omo ho ana
mama edin no dey me to be fan to yes I
yeah bonten
and this one akokoye adwuma e so dey amane kokobọ no
exactly
na enya penti and me to be fan to yes say but my catch one say enka say yem pra yenya be tin won kra enwie no and mo bi anka say obi adin ka ho because the people by 10 and if you 3 you can imagine the pressure. It was maybe 16, maybe 14, maybe 12. It is already I did be a two just say you create tension for other people. Please say they qualify one for one. Where they are all the
yeah, of course.
Yes, and also the former president they move back and over.
Onua FM
And my president said, "Yeah, a bit doing crime. Never started vetting. No, that's all. No, lawyer paid no. I'm no more master or better. It's a bit there. The command will be on top of, and I'm not kaya.
Right. Last week, so Mebruno Western region be at the press release by Montes as a president appointment when it comes to CEOs now. They as a president in my Western region. Although I'm more minister, me no said.
Oh, I need a requirement here. According to I can remind and say, maybe I didn't know any more than about Western region. Bon, yourself at a sad you qualify people to CEOs and almost sepata as or more be the event.
And then I say because GMPC Foundation, you say Nanka, a man for about target say honor the way foundation in Western region the one on car maybe a coffee.
Mamma and
95.1
President Yansen or yen way.
Yeah, true.
So I don't yet to make penny a 3 months, not one summer or company be to me. All kind of set my
Mate Chairman, and payment now I say na Brepemo would have a proper discussion about the Western region. Thank you so much, Edasipa. Nidi Edin and Atoko Chairman, Western region. One now telling Kalu Mebuni be still a woman to a more just woman or bad choice, and they are my present. Any other dear doctor. Uncle for that no more jala, no more ties. No more jala, Western region, or more ties.
Yes, but what will say? Meaning they make kind of say or more disagreements in revulsion, and I say in Tiasia any Jumano. It is understandable because Western region and so any voter region they contributed massively to NDC's campaign, just like all the other regions.
Maybe the association be Western region city and now MPP.
There's no problem with it.
Well, what can baby go from says now.
In fact, the other regions
and you have a lot of natural resources. Every Western region, plenty.
Me call media tone. I went there, I saw it. Now me bo bibia baso Western region. But the TN say, President and so there are a lot of considerations out here.
Me they don't be my Western for I can show.
Oh, there be Western region can be a asa Western region executives minimum. Omwa bojuma papa. I also appointments and sign. Bebre waka.
The more than in answer.
Oh, bebre also more than bebre wa aka emusu more de pa.
Aka de hene de.
Ah, me can be a momo.
To say de hene de.
Oh, Nagapuha aba. Ghana airport company aba. A lot of them.
419.
They be beba. Enti na bebre wa aka ha so that enti bebre wa meet me money na but Western region we have juma my year number of seats or my Giama party na. I think say they deserve it. Media moji say president so be pressure war president so no. Me no ka say anopa me ko office here, you ko president officer. Some no. Obi akra ne CV obi akra CV obi akra school obi deserve so be position tenya easy me kra na president ho yem mobo
man ho nya mobo sa
na no yem mobo
da bi so wa baby paint we na so ot ase
minim pa ntebe ye party for kakran
Mate Mark
nana wonim ne enti a Western region for no yes
Debbie
eye asa bonia mampeni na nado etwa to eno na mani ma akosa
sedenti
esa bono etwa to
wa ya den ono na ma appointment na nado ma appointment wo ho
o say in as much as yemfa appointment mo be as a juicy offer
right
onye nkonko di no or ye aserve or serve na mai mampeni na nado eba banyam or appointing ministers chere me a major reshuffle or ye. So the people are of the fear. Say ebia na mampeni mahama nso anya reshuffling. Tisi yi sa de ni nyina firi ho de a.
Ende na nado kire mu o say wo say ebi na epe bibia die. Ebi na epe bibia die.
Omo jo gu ho no, omo ye den. Wo je nipa e ma na tena fa ako a, he become power drunk. And didn't you do baby no mum ye no. Edu baby no mum fa anya hwe. But say wo ho anu ma ye reshuffling na. Oni part no obomu say o se me madwuma yie me nyane biara because mampeni nka hwe mampeni mpamome. So I agree with them, but you see the ebeka nyina ne say ayabotre nipa no dawson yen mu say PNC and the support kokoma MP NDC yen san ka hwe ye gusu so ayesu ye di eti buburu mu ahwe se pese enya akwanya ne so yeso but enim say dia wo bibiara o ye adwuma eboa ma NDC ba ban mu no obenya adwuma akwakoye me adwuma ye be ma menye se me kakopɛ ne medie. Of course yes, I need to put food on the table, but my interest is into serving the nation. Say you could have some mentality in there, then why we can fight for it. So I'm my opportunity to near adwuma. But I want to promise them say it will not be like that of yesterday where you are appointed to be kokot now
and you to me
Minister of Growth for 8 solid years.
Mark to me sign will be it.
Oh
to me sign will be at you.
Yes,
well, be an address to the appointment. Say John Dramani Mahama say, who could send for only one person from Peja better crowd about Pamuasi Abonte.
Mampeni Mahama, why you be paying? Or buy your appointing ministers or your reshuffling. And I don't anya reshuffling. Only not some clearing agents near my account. But Mahama saw no clearing agent. So when you now send signal to Onua appointment is in there. We ye maybe no one year one move to for now. You be you free ho. Enti more makan abutre. Look, the president has power to appoint about 6,000 or 4,000. A lot of people 6,000. Now I appoint 2,000. And who the presidency? 2,000. I can so appoint 1,000 for I 5,000. I mean CEOs. Deputy CEOs, board, baby.
CEO ne board yes and yepe.
Oh,
Samiti way yes I am ketwa.
Oh, sister. Obia benjamin bia. Entertain way so say yepe.
Crunch maintain nkate. Tourism body ba ku ye we he ya wo mo at center ya. Hono de na say wo mo renovate we fra wo say. A center we ya wo mo ye museum there be museum a center we mo de tourism there ben
ya kai be boss
enti me de meka mo masa me mo ne wo mo nya bi crunch mo ne ade wo mo nya bi o de me tire obi a benya bi sai sisters yi de mo de nyina asa be sin ha adwene o de me tire
bibiri wo bibiri wo
yo
ya botre yesu kra wa atwenye mu se mampeni be kan
ne onya ntemu na mark mu nyina epibia president Crofo asola yo e ward na asa afa o market time deputies ne brantem women na ye ward deputies and they say bpa man na ye ward because enya ndu 30 that no na 27 asa mass na nkoyi sisi ye na fa e become na enye fe because e bi di abantem e bi di eche o say
ebeba enti munya betre
na ya bia be hu se ka be mo mana
da bi say obia mehu me de na wu so abonye ni aha fom so omodo so na da wo mo manya appointment bebre sutifie maburu so sa time campaign bebre na ya nyasam keto because who say group of ibi wo nyina anya bi
yes
ma na kwa ashanti region no da say me bobo mo di wo nyina am sa calories yape omu nyina
me so ashanti region am call you
sao she
ba yebenya
munya wad na asa ya ni ade sao
o yebenya
omu nya ntem na
yebenya A man no some panny per se baba sum. But you see, in as much as here can munya botre. Listen, me can't kind my open remarks. It might be based on merit. And you'll be a kind of sabbath. The opposition be why it's me for be a but there are some other areas and you'll be a and you're fun. Whoever is going there should represent the interest of the whole. Jump on me and the Western region for Munya. Oh, yeah, no, I'll be a banana.
That's all my you know, so yeah, I was young Rason on the bank, as I Dr. Medasa, why, unca be a solo. Yes, aha, hey, some more. We got Rancher, baby, and one more down my mouth to hold one name was some. Okay, baby, my yef, my yef. Rancher and I, what in Munya, the panel, there will be a baby, and Shano Munya Juma 4 years. To me, Cocoa body say special aid near the day. First one, and Tibaman Kanaman Guson Kai was saying they outreach near Bassody more, they bought for a nap, Bekai home near TV, near FM, near Cambo Monia Doye, and they would the woman be a course of come will be to me the Diano to be a good. Mebono at a year orphan homes, orphanage homes near there. Woman ya been the aboa for no yarn and one. Obi always goes to be this kind because a bear, a besun code, nipa bonny and dorsal. Now she didn't cry. Fabre near more what na Namisha saw the mount near maybe a quay mount a maniama a yamre, Naniama equi, you know. What the bar now the boy will be only be a beboapa, and I make come for Mr. Wada. Or a yet mobile money known to me far a more Gary and why situate milk near dear won't me swam ray. What the fasten year was 059 it will be answer 059 8870446 059 8870446. I tell you, I was so do about Onua FM front desk guy beje a brand swan night the aquacoyado and come. And Tibias ma make an open munche mu ya betimi afre 0249 131 636 0249 131 636 and 0544 541 424. Neka so nia doctor the bro kwesi ada bia anti no wa hye ne so ama me nia doctor kwesi ada no we hye abena mesem no num ne de abrɛ o. Yebekwa koda nyame ase ewo Elwak Sports Stadium mebeto anama oye nyina ne take sisters Cecilia ma for Francis Amo Efiada Francis beba ha Joyce Blessing PSC Esther Sisi Chum Nasi Anklato Bra Same SP Kofi Sapon ya foforo bebre ye koda nyame ase afimu ni nyina na nyame ahwe so yakwoto ababoni bi ensi a na ese ekọ ne koda nyame ase na eni asofo akuku dam nyina ye kwaji yenhira ho no mo sofo bi wa we na kira kwan a wunya no obra Elwak a obehuno abeje wa yaresa wunhira uye die na obi te so no yakọ ne yakosane nyina ma na afi watumi adie Elwak Sports Stadium de bro de mo de ana ya brefo dan so de me mene DJ Kobo Henry Eludianki
Onua 95.1 FM 95.1 FM yeah,